There, now everything's right. I want to share 5 home-based businesses that you could start with nearly no investment up front, that are high margin, high profitability, you can do from home, and that you could start part-time and eventually work it to full-time when the time is available. So let's dive in. Obviously, you can see that the production value is increasing in these videos since I'm now standing rather than sitting. So there's that. What makes this video any different from the thousands of other videos out there about starting a home-based business? A lot of those videos I've seen, they end up focusing on how much revenue they created. It's not actual take-home profit, so that's a problem. So this video focuses on what are businesses that busy parents or really anyone could start from home, and it's something that they could ramp up in their spare time to eventually do this full-time. My first recommendation for a home-based business, no surprise, is going to be web design or web development. For those of you who don't know me, that's what I've been doing for the past 20 plus years. It is something I would recommend because, as many people have asked me about it over the years, the beauty is my expenses are very, very low compared to the amount of profit that is gained from the business. We're talking about profit margins that are up in the 80% to higher range. What makes this a great business to run from home? The beauty of this is it's very easy to start part-time and work your way up. You could easily scale this to a full-time business when you have the time available. Plus, you can do this project-based versus hourly. The challenge of hourly, if you're a busy parent, is that you might be tied to a clock or someone needs you at a certain time of the day. So project-based work is why I recommend this, because you could work on that project as you have time chunks available to you. There is a very high demand still for this. People are continually building websites. People are building terrible websites and they need to be rebuilt. So you have plenty of opportunity to keep increasing your skill, get faster and faster at this particular area of expertise, and offer it to really any business that is out there, any personal brand, any corporate brand. You have the ability to do that for such a wide audience. Where would you begin if you wanted to start a web design, web development business? If you have no skills in this area, you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to learn WordPress. You're going to figure out what the best hosts are out there. You're going to figure out what makes a good design. I would suggest starting with just basic websites for people. That could be your simple 4-page starter site that has home, services, about, contact. You might just want to focus right on a specific niche, or niche, this word is my arch enemy. A simple place to start is build your website. Maybe you get a few websites under your belt. And the reality is, even though it feels like you don't have a lot of experience there, you will continue to learn on the job. And remember that if you've built a few websites, you're still ahead of 90% of people out there who have never built a website. So you have something to offer. Where do you begin with selling your web design website services? Again, I would always recommend start with word of mouth. Talk to any communities that you're involved with. That could be sports, that could be church, that could be friend groups, whatever it is, just start telling people. A lot of people are willing to help. If you just ask, then you'll find you may receive. My second idea for a home-based business would be a high-end virtual assistant. Now, why do I say high-end? That would be because you want to target a specific niche right from the beginning. Maybe you already have skills in a particular area, a field that is profitable. That would be real estate, accountants, lawyers, tech industry. So if you already know a little bit about these fields, go right in there and offer your service, and you can show that you have knowledge of that field. People will pay more for that from the beginning. It is something you can do project-based. It doesn't have to be hourly based. Again, a person will assign you a variety of tasks and things to do for them. And since it's service-based, you have a much greater ability to do this the hours that you have available during the day, and you can scale it up over time. So how do you get started? Go ahead and pick that niche, like I said from the beginning, target that, offer specialized tasks that are going to be specific to that particular industry so people know, hey, this is what I could potentially get, and save time. They're looking to save time so that you can do those tasks that they don't want to do. Focus on high-end tasks, things that produce high value for them. And when you do that, you're going to find that you're going to get some very loyal clients in that particular industry. No more than 2 to 3 clients max. You're going to do far better with less in this particular industry, especially if you're doing it part-time. All you have to do for startup fees here is you just set up your own office. Yes, you'll probably have to create your own website for this. Yes, you got to get out there, get on LinkedIn, get on social media, again, word of mouth. But from there, the more you get into that specialized industry or specialized skill, that's where you can offer premium services at a premium price. And again, the beauty is you can easily do this from home. Business opportunity number 3, I would highly recommend would be online marketing. If you have experience with social media marketing, organic search engine marketing, paid for marketing, these things are in incredibly high demand for businesses of all sizes. Again, you could walk into a business with 3 employees, you could walk into a business with 20 employees and offer to be their part-time online marketing specialist. Other benefit of this is it comes with natural upsell opportunities. What do I mean by that? Well, again, you're offering to do online marketing. Well, that could easily overflow into graphic design, web design. You've got plenty of opportunities that this could become an upsell into other services. And you could end up just specializing and working for 1 or 2 clients on a part-time basis. How would you get started with online marketing or selling this as a service? The one thing you're going to want to clearly define is the exact service that you're offering a business. So when it comes to online marketing, business marketing, I've come across so many businesses that were not clear about what they were offering. They were just giving this retainer package that says we're going to market you in these areas, but they didn't say how. I would instead encourage you to focus on progress and results that can be measured in increments over time. This has helped me with my online marketing services. I don't overpromise people what we're going to get because we don't always know that, but certainly show people how you have helped other businesses increase conversions, increase leads, increase profits. They're going to want to know that you do have a track record of that. And I would highly recommend that you choose an industry that you know something about. You don't have to know everything about it, but if you end up choosing something you know nothing about, you're going to have a tough time knowing what that particular service is, product is, and then also the audience and what their demands are, what they're looking for. Choose something that you know well, because that is another selling point you can offer as you begin networking with business owners, with potential customers. Number 4, no surprise here, you've probably heard it before, it is consulting. We have to focus on the areas that we already have knowledge in. That gets us that much further ahead than starting something completely brand new. If you are skilled in accounting, if you are skilled in wedding planning, if you are skilled in home garden design, these are all businesses I've heard of people creating. If you have some of those skills, get out there and market that. Offer consulting. It could be just short packages that you create. It's not that this has to be an ongoing thing. You can do short-term work. You can do more long-term work depending on the size of the project. This allows you, if you're a busy parent, to have that flexibility to work when you have time available. You've got very high profit margins. Pretty much everything is take-home pay from that. Maybe you just have open booking times available 1 day a week for a 3-hour period. Right there, you could potentially earn several $100s just from those consulting sessions alone. Where would you begin with consulting? You certainly want to start by documenting your expertise, documenting your results. That could be getting reviews from people, that could be creating case studies, and then get these out there. Create a simple website. I do have a free course that helps you get started on all of that in the link below. People always say, where do you start with getting your service out there? Realistically, you're probably going to get that first client not through online marketing, but actually through a word of mouth recommendation from someone. They're going to say, hey, I know that Billy knows, Billy sounds like he's 5. Anyways, Billy is offering his consulting services about how small businesses can leverage social media. And the beauty of that word of mouth or the personal referral is that that typical trust building phase that you have to work on online, showing your credibility, all of that, that word of mouth or personal referral just eliminates so much of that. You can eventually quickly switch to value-based pricing. So if your service is saving someone 50 hours of time, yet you can offer that consulting, that information in 1 hour or 2 hours of time, well, what is that worth to someone? 50 hours of their time. The market will pay what they determine to be valuable. If it's valuable to them and it saves them time and money, then why not? Number 5 would be, sorry, that was 10. Number 5 would be course creation. Now that sounds a little out of place compared to the other service-based things that I was mentioning earlier. While it's more of a passive income thing traditionally, I mention it because it's sort of the culmination of all of these different services you could offer into one. I see it as the phase 2 of where you could take your business. I would not recommend course creation as a quick way to make money. Again, it's passive income, but when we say passive income, realistically, that means active work for quite some time, and then passive starts to trickle in. So if you need to get started earning money right away, do not start with course creation. Now, you can get started with a place like Skillshare or Udemy, which will give you an audience right away. Again, we're talking about how do we reduce the margins. So if you want to earn the most out of this, I'd probably go to a service like Teachable or Thinkific and get the most profit from that as possible. The other thing you can do is start with a mini course or even offer a free course. I'm actually doing this on my website right now, so I'm in the exact same process of this. I want to get feedback on what other areas of information would people like to know, what's lacking in my teaching on this particular topic. Are there ways I could present it better or get to the point faster? So that's a great way to start. And then over time, you can then turn that into a paid for course and make it more robust, more complete. Especially now that you've got some reviews, you've gotten feedback, you could have people sign in or give their email, add them to a news list in order to get access to that course, whether paid for or free. Now you're creating an audience that you have the ability to reach out to at any point to offer valuable information to continue building trust. The wonderful thing about all these different ideas is you can do them from home, you can do them within your own schedule as you have time available. Again, it helps you to still prioritize what is most important, which I honestly believe is our marriages, our families. Like, don't sacrifice these things for businesses, for money. Never worth it at the end of our lives. Also, if you are feeling stuck or you're really having a hard time starting this business or motivation, I do encourage you to watch this other video that I have about how to move past that starting point. And with that, I ask you, what are you going to do with these 24 hours that you've been given?